An AEW star is frustrated and calls out bad AEW booking. I'm going to tell you guys why I actually kind of disagree. There are some parts I agree with, but for the most part, I actually disagree. Also, Gail Kim reveals some major stuff is happening to Impact. We're going to speculate. We're going to talk. Also, Tony Khan provides an update on the streaming service. I'm super excited. Guys, if you want more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe, ring that bell, get notified, all that good stuff. Really quick, Gail Kim says fans will be surprised with the big plans Impact has for the company. Woo! Very exciting. Obviously, as you guys know, Impact has been doing really good television. A lot of people are starting to get back into Impact. They're not trying to be a product that they're not. Gail Kim was on the Battleground podcast to discuss her Impact Wrestling history, the progression of the Impact Knockouts division, and her future with the company. And it's actually really cool because there's a lot of stuff that this company's obviously been working on. Slammiversary is a big deal. They're celebrating 20 years of existence. But what's really, really cool is when speaking about her future and Impact, Gail Kim says, I think everyone knows I'm a very loyal and invested person in this company with the women's division and everything on top of that. I just want to grow within the company and help it move into a new direction. I think the fans will be surprised because I think we have big plans in terms of where we want this company to go and just be more exposed to a bigger audience and for everyone to enjoy what we all love, and that's to see the talent, the incredible talent that's on the roster. First and foremost, Gail Kim got a lot of praise on my live stream because we talk about the women's division between all the big companies, and Impact, constantly gets that praise from me. AEW and WWE, they can talk about women main eventing or how much they treat their women's division. Impact doesn't talk about it. They just kind of do it, and they've been doing that for years and years and years. And I always give them credit for that. And I think a lot of that has to do with Gail Kim running the women's division. With that being said, I don't know what these big plans are. Maybe it's a new television deal. Maybe it's some expansion with Impact Plus and the streaming. I know they're adding more content to the application. Obviously, Slammiversary, it's happening this upcoming Sunday. They have a really cool pre-show that's happening. There's some rumors of some new talent debuting. There's a lot of things that could be happening. And I think with Impact, I think a lot of times people criticize Impact because they're on Access TV. But at the same time, too, the company that owns Impact owns Access TV. So it makes a lot of sense. I'm curious to see if maybe a new television deal could be in the works. Maybe Impact merging with like Paramount or something. Because that could be really unique, too. Like imagine, I know Spike TV is no longer a thing. It became Paramount. But Viacom and Impact had a weird relationship back then. But that's just something to consider. What if Paramount, they obviously want sports. They have soccer. They have some other stuff on there. What if they brought in Impact and they merged Impact Plus with Paramount Network or something? I can see Impact like joining a big, because they have a tape library, I can see them joining some big library. Apple is another company. They just announced a deal with MLS, Major League Soccer. These are the type of things that intrigue me. But I don't know what their big plans are, man. This is going to be really cool. I'm glad they're hyping up some big stuff. Hopefully they just continue the momentum and continue to grow. I think there's more, the more wrestling, the better it is for the industry. I think Impact has good booking. I think AEW and WWE at times have great booking. These companies being better is better for the industry. All right, guys, let's talk about that AEW streaming service because I just talked about MLS and Apple. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about streaming as it's a big deal now. Conventional cables, essentially, it's not gone, but for the most part, people have transitioned to these streaming apps. Apple TV Plus, HBO Max, Netflix, Paramount, like all of these different things you can imagine. We have been following Tony Khan and the AEW streaming app for a long time, and basically, Connor Casey from Comic Book had an interview with Tony Khan. And Tony Khan says, as we've developed more content growing the library, I think, and the demand has grown for a variety of reasons. I think all the stars are aligning. AEW has a streaming service, has more potential value in the future. And then the purchase of Ring of Honor, now to have access to one of the best wrestling libraries in North America with some of today's top stars and some of the top stars in the past few decades, and those thousands of hours of Ring of Honor footage in conjunction with the hundreds of hours of AEW footage we've assembled and continue to assemble on a weekly basis, week in, week out, and the growing demand for our fans. I think all these factors contribute to why this would be a great time for AEW to launch a streaming service, and it's a conversation that I have had and continue to actively have with Warner Brothers Discovery, who are one of the worldwide leaders in streaming and sports content. Cool. So we're still back to the same phase of we know there's a streaming app coming. We know something's happening, but there's no announcement. I have a feeling that this is going to be a big part of the next conversation when AEW gets their next television deal. I have a very, very strong feeling that's the reason why we haven't seen it yet, because I think, that with the TV deal coming up soon, I think AEW is not going to want to be on a streaming service if that's not their TV partner. And there's always a good chance that Warner Media Brothers, Discovery, whatever, there's always a good chance that maybe they don't want to move forward with AEW, or maybe AEW doesn't want to move forward with them. That doesn't mean they're going to lose their TV deal. What I'm saying is there's a lot of heavy hitters in the streaming market. Apple is now entering the space, and they're doing fantastic with it. Amazon as well. Amazon brought in the NFL. Apple brought in MLS. These are things to consider, right? HBO Max doesn't have live sports, but they want live sports. Netflix doesn't have live sports, but they're testing out live functionality, probably meaning that they want live sports or live content. Then you have Hulu, and you have all of these other services. So my point that I'm making is maybe the reason why AEW hasn't announced a deal is because maybe they're going to see what type of money they can get from outside providers, not just, Warner Brothers Discovery. I do think the future of Warner Brothers Discovery and AEW is good, truthfully. I don't see AEW leaving, but I'm just saying it wouldn't be shocking to me if Apple or Amazon came around and said, hey guys, we'll give you a couple $2 billion, but we want everything on our platform. That could happen. And if you're Tony Khan, it could very well happen now that you have Ring of Honor's tape library. So that is something to consider, something to keep in mind. All right, guys, in our final story of today's video, Jake the Snake Roberts talks about some creative booking. And I thought this was super intriguing to me because I don't know exactly how I feel, whether or not I agree with this. But basically, when speaking on the DDP Snake Pit podcast, Lance Archer's manager, Jake Roberts, admitted he is frustrated to see Archer not breaking through to greater heights despite his obvious qualities. In fact, he even says, "It is so frustrating for me to see Lance in the spot that he's in. He's such a phenomenal athlete. He's in such great shape. He's got an unbelievable look. The only thing Lance doesn't really do well is talk, and that's why they brought me." Now, the issue with Lance Archer, I think it has nothing to do with Lance Archer. I don't even think it has to do with creative. Creatively speaking, when Lance Archer is on the screen, when he's on television, AEW does a good job with him. I think the issue is they don't use him enough. It is the same thing as Ethan Page. Now, for those who missed it, I was live on Twitch. We were live on Twitch last night, and we were going through cagematch.net. Since Ethan Page has debuted in 2021, he's only had 6 wrestling matches on AEW Dynamite. So I think the thing is like they have signed so many people where somebody's always taking a back seat to someone else. It's not that when he's on TV, it's not that they do a bad job or make him look bad. They never make Lance Archer look bad. But I don't think they use him enough to build any momentum, and that's the issue. So I don't know if I would call it bad creative. I don't know if I would call it bad booking. I would just simply say AEW doesn't book him enough to make him stand out or feel important. But for crying out loud, the guy competed for the world championship in an amazing match against Hangman Page. You get what I'm going with this? So yeah, I'll let you guys make your own opinion on it. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.